For my whole life, I've never burped, not even when I was a baby. Each time you eat, talk, or swallow spit, air also goes down. A normal person could just burp that air up, but with RCP-D, I couldn't. All that air builds up in my intestines until it can come out in a fart. The air fills my intestines like a balloon and can feel like I'm going to explode. The air stretches out my intestines and causes extreme amounts of pain. Currently, the only cure is to get Botox injected into a muscle in my throat. The Botox paralyzes the muscle, allowing the air to come back up as a burp. The Botox doesn't last forever, so I have to train my body to know how to burp, so I don't need the Botox again. After surgery, there are some symptoms that don't last forever, and they are way less bad than constant pain. They include slow swallow, which makes swallowing harder foods feel like I'm choking, cause it feels like the food takes forever to go down. Then there's something where I don't feel like I'm getting enough breath. It makes reading out loud almost impossible. I think it's where some of the Botox leaks into a spot, which affects how much my lungs can expand. Lastly, I can't lay down flat without having horrible reflex. I must be propped up while sleeping or laying down for a bath. When I was 12, which was 3 years and 9 months ago in June, we thought I got sick. I didn't have a fever or any other signs of sickness, except for stomach pain every day. I was also out of breath after running or walking short distances. Over the years, the pain got worse, and instead of suffering 3 to 4 days a week, it was all day, every day. Then I started having days where the pain was so bad, I thought I was going to die. For a week after each worst day, the pain would be extra bad. By now, we had known I had RCP-D. Approximately 1.5 years ago, I started fasting, and soon after that, I made my few meals smaller and smaller, until I began to starve myself, cause staying hungry was better than extra bad pain. Me and Mommy could tell that I had lost a lot of weight, and I got weaker and unable to do daily tasks without feeling worse. Without feeling worse afterwards. The last week before surgery, I felt the worst I had been out of all the super bad days. I only ate a small amount of meat for lunch and dinner with no extra meals, and my only liquid was ginger tea. I was constantly dizzy, and each time I moved, the pain would be worse. Within a few days after surgery, I felt the best I have in my entire life. But I only felt good for the first 2 weeks after Botox. By the 3rd week, my slow swallow was a lot less severe, and I was experimenting with new foods. I started feeling unwell again, but this time with pins and needles feeling in my stomach, like I'm allergic to something. I had the microburp starting in the afternoon of the day after Botox, and by 7 p.m. that day, I had one big true burp. I've continued to burp ever since, and it's been approximately 4 weeks now. I've gone back to eating only what I did within the first 2 weeks post-Botox, because I know I'm not allergic to any of those foods. The items I'm allowed to eat include eggs, dairy, mushrooms, kefir, bananas, potatoes, carrots, broccoli, ground beef, cooked bell pepper, cooked onion, garlic, chocolate, cinnamon, and honey, and tomato soup. It's quite a boring diet, but it's what I must do for now to find out what I'm allergic to by adding in one new item at a time and seeing how my body reacts. We have a list of all the foods I added in right before I felt the needles in my stomach. My no burping pain is all gone now, and the surgery was a success. The pain I felt from my allergic reaction is way less than the pain I used to feel every day. We knew there was something more than just not burping, but back then, doing allergy tests would have been pointless, 'cause we could never get me to a point of lowered pain. I wanted to wait until I was done with Invisalign to do the surgery, but that would have been too long of a wait. My Invisalign would be done in June or July, but I needed it now in early March. I've already felt stronger, more energetic, and no dizziness. The surgery definitely wasn't worth 17 days of worrying over. It went just fine, and all the doctors were very nice. The first food item I might add in is sunflower seed butter. Stay tuned to see how it goes. On the 9th of April, I did my post-Botox checkup over the phone, and it sounds like I need to keep practicing burping for 4 to 6 more months. And after that, I should still be burping forever.
Yes. I didn't need to bring